Welcome back to the Who's Yanks. Bienvenido a the Who's Yanks. And if you're watching this from Mexico, bienvenidos. So welcome back to the Who's Yanks. We're talking Canada soccer and U.S. soccer. Tonight we're going to be talking about the USA's match against L3 down at Estadio Azteca. Hard-fought match. It ended in 0-0, so there's no goals to talk about. But I will at least give you some rundown of the game. And I'm going to try and make it quick. That way I'm not going to try and make it too long because there's not really any goals to talk about. But before we do that, one major announcement that I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of that's really sent shockwaves around the soccer world is Italy has failed to make the World Cup, and for the second straight time in a row, and they are out. And yeah, this comes after their loss at the last minute goal against North Macedonia, and in Italy too. So a lot of boos rang around the stadium and screaming and whistles, but it's another day of disappointment for the Italian Football Federation, and they're gonna have to figure something out in order to figure out 2026 whenever Canada, Mexico, and the USA host this World Cup. So we'll see what they can do by then. But until then, it's another 4 years. It's been 8 years now since that's wild. 8 years since they've been to a World Cup. That's crazy, unthinkable. But that's with the announcement. I'll probably say it again too, as after this video I'll be making the Canada video as their game just finished against Costa Rica and Los Ticos. But today we're going to be talking about L3 versus the Yanks, and arguably the biggest rival on the globe. So before that, let's go to our starting lineup with the USA. And so they got Zach Steffen started in there. He had a clean sheet. So did Memo Ochoa from Mexico. DeAndre Yedlin, Walker Zimmerman. By the way, DeAndre Yedlin suspended, getting a yellow card, which I'll talk about that more. But Walker Zimmerman, Tyler Adams, Anthony Robinson, Giannis Musa, Ricardo Pepi, Christian Pulisic, Miles Robinson, Tim Weah, who's also suspended, and Kellen Acosta. So really, a solid lineup here. Ricardo Pepi getting the nod. Many people saw this and they wanted Jesus Ferreira as he was tearing things up at FC Dallas, but hey, I mean, Ricardo Pepi, some people say it was like a slap in the face to the Mexicans to kind of play him there. But, I mean, this lineup it wasn't that bad, honestly. You know, I was curious to see what Greg Berhalter would put out here, but it's not that bad. Of course, with super subs Reina and, was supposed to be P-Fault come off the bench, but as I'm going to mention he had a couple opportunity wide open shots, and there was one in the 70-something minute where he just couldn't. I mean, Gio Reyna put it on a platter for him, and I can draw it out with you guys real quick. Gio Reyna sends it, and P-Fault, instead of all you have to do is tap it straight ahead or there, he goes way that way. And that was arguably the best chance of the game for the USA, aside from Christian Pulisic's chance, which I'm going to talk about right now. So here we go, but not a lot of things to talk about really, as it was an equal battle for most of the game. Both teams had their chances. U.S. starts to create more chances until around the 25th minute mark, but not much happens. And then halftime, it's still 0-0 between L3 and the Yanks. USA with this lineup is showing some fight, though. They're showing no fear, and they're showing some grit down at the Azteca. Keep in mind, which has historically been a spooky place for the USA, as they've still yet never to win a World Cup qualifying game down at the Azteca. So for Mexico, congratulations. It is still your fortress, and it looks like, given how the new Concacaf World Cup qualifying format is about to change, it will still be your fortress for the next at least 8 years. I don't know how they're going to change it, but until then, it looks like the rivalry for World Cup qualifying might be put on a pause. But we'll see what they do. We'll see what Concacaf does. But as I said, Weston McKennie, there is no Weston McKennie. He's out with an injury. Reina and P-Folk on the bench. I thought they would do something. Reina did a great job. I mean, just in the 60-something minute, he had some little tiki-taka play. I mean, he was just, not tiki-taka, but it was some got a messy stuff. And he was just weaving in and out of his way of defenders. And it was like, wow. Welcome back, Gio Reyna. And boy, was he ready to play. And so, but after this, I was like, can they potentially grab a goal? Also, Yedlin and Weah picked up yellow cards and now suspended for an all-important Panama match that would arguably see the U.S. qualify at home, as it's still on the table now that Canada failed to qualify, as well as Um, the U.S. hasn't qualified officially yet, but Canada's, as I said, they didn't fail officially, but it's not clinched now as they just lost against Costa Rica. But now's a chance for the USA to just hit the grand slam and just go home and just get all 3 points here. I know many people are going to see this result 1-1 at a second, frustrated as the USA won here, but I personally see it a different way. I'm like, come on, we got to take this game by game. And keep in mind, you got to remember the historical aspects, right? The U.S. has never won at Azteca, and just because the USA are on the rise and they're really flying high right now, doesn't mean they're just going to break every single history in the history book in the book. I mean, Mexico is still Mexico. You're still playing at altitude, 7,200 feet. It's still the same thing, and that's what I was like in my prediction. I was like, it's gonna be tight. Worst case scenario is a 1-0 loss for the USA, but I said best case would be a draw. Obviously, best case scenario would be a win, but I'm content with a draw, and that's exactly what they played for. And it looks like the USA just seem to do that. And I mean, hey, I'll take that. I'll take a draw down at the Estadio Azteca any day if I'm the USA, and especially if I'm just trying to, I'm not trying to drop any points on the road, like any losses. So that's big, right? And so, but coming out of the second half, Mexico comes out firing a couple flashes on their own, but none lead to any chances. 70 minutes though, we do have a controversial penalty call or potential penalty call. Raul Jimenez goes down in the box, and it's not a pen. VAR had a look at it. They didn't officially go to VAR, but they still had a look in his earpiece. And Zimmerman, I think, is lucky here. I mean, I think he did grab him by the toe here. However, the rest said that Raul Jimenez was going down easily already. So, but I think Walker Zimmerman got away with one here. You can dispute that with me in the comments, but I personally think taking a replay, a closer look on Walker Zimmerman's toe and kind of colliding with Raul Jimenez's toe after the ball kind of a little bit beats Walker Zimmerman there. But if I'm Walker Zimmerman in the USA, you didn't see that, and that's exactly what happened. Or the ref even didn't think it was enough to be a pin. And in the 89th minute, Chucky Lozano tries to draw a penalty, but the ref gives him the yellow for embellishment. And basically, I couldn't see what happened, but I just he just tried to go down. I thought that could have been arguably a penalty, but I'm not going to dispute that. The ref obviously had a clearer look at than I did, and so he gave a yellow card to Chucky for embellishment. And basically, from there, nothing really happened. It's the end of the match. Both teams earn a point after a hard-fought match. You got it's a huge result for the Yanks. I mean, as I said earlier, the Yanks, all you needed here was just a draw. You didn't need to take all 3 points. Yeah, it would have been nice, but keep in mind, the whole point is you're trying to win this thing at home, against Panama. Keep in mind, Panama tied Honduras 1-1 thanks to Honduras coming back. So that changed stuff too, a lot too. And before I do that, before I can get to the whole Concacaf standings and stuff, we're gonna talk about the whole we're going to talk about the stats of the game, but before I talk about the stats, I just wanted to talk about this was a fun match to watch. I mean, it was just every way. I know it was a draw, but both teams were going at it. I mean, honestly, it was a relatively clean match too. There were no scruffles. Both teams were. We didn't see any hostilities from the fans or no nasty, blatant tackles from either team. So, I mean, hey. That's a plus, but here are the stats. 11 shots to 9. Mexico has more shots. Only 2 of the 11 are on target for Mexico, while 4 of the 9 for the USA. Memo Ochoa did a great job. So credit to Memo Ochoa there. The Eagle has spread wings there, if you get that reference. 64% possession for Mexico, 36% possession for the USA, as expected. 466 passes to 267 passes completed. 79% pass accuracy to 63% pass accuracy. 14 fouls to 12 fouls. 2 yellow cards to 3, no red cards, 1 offside to none, and 1 corner to 4. And then we take a look at our CONCACAF standings after day 1, or day 12, I should say. Canada still leads at the top of the group despite losing. With 25 points, they're no longer undefeated. USA now still in second place on goal differential with 22 points, but Mexico's also with 22 points in third. As I said, goal differential difference there. Costa Rica now leapfrogging Panama with that Panama tying Honduras result. So they have 19 points now. And all of a sudden, Costa Rica's now in the run of things. And now you got to watch out for both Costa Rica and Panama. So this is really shaping up to be an interesting finish here in the standings. El Salvador 6th with 10 points. I think they've officially been eliminated. Jamaica eliminated as well, but they're in 7th with 8 points. And dead last, still eliminated, is Honduras with 4 points. But Honduras playing the role of spoiler here for Panama as they're slowing them down. And they're really making sure they don't get anything here. And, I mean, that surely helps out Canada, Mexico, and the USA. And even Costa Rica trying to work their way back into this one. So, Honduras doing Concacaf a big favor right now. So, thank you, Honduras. And after the result of tonight's Mexico-USA match, Honduras' result against Panama really made a difference. Panama could have been right on Mexico's butts and USA, so thank goodness for Honduras. But overall, the game was really fascinating to watch. As I said, relatively clean game. No nasty tackles. No scruffles. It just looked like a clean game, you know. And it was kind of almost like a what you call it? I'm forgetting the phrase for it, but like an anticlimactic game, given how I think many people are saying that this would be the last U.S.'s trip to Azteca in World Cup qualifying, at least for another 8 years or so. Which you expect there to be fireworks, everything, the full 9 yards, but no, it was kind of just a overall laid back game. Both teams are just trying, no scruffles, and I mean it was still enjoyable to watch. And the USA, Mexico they seem both content with the point as they currently are still going through. 2 games left for both teams. I think USA has a chance to really slam the door home and at home, and then Mexico just getting the job done. So, I mean, a lot of stuff. I mean, they can still go through. So this draw really just favors both teams. But if anybody it hurts Canada, as Canada needed Mexico to beat the USA in order to book their spot to World Cup qualifying in Qatar, but because they lost to Costa Rica, but none of that happened. So Canada's pause to qualifying will be on hold. But overall, the USA's performance was outstanding. No Weston McKennie, who was often a difference on set piece makers, as he's often that guy who always out jumps everybody and always heads it. In both of the Mexico games, I noticed, but he wasn't here, and they still played well without him. Helen Acosta, I know his set pieces were a little different delivery, but that you can also make a claim that hey, the altitude was getting to him. But overall, I mean, it was still fun to watch. I mean, the USA still showed no fear. Normally, when you hear the name Azteca or you see the Azteca, it just strikes fear into most U.S. players' hearts. But not this group. This group came out ready to play. They looked defensively sound, and they were just up for the challenge. So, I mean, kudos to this group, and kudos to Mexico for also playing really well, too. Really making this entertaining. Chucky Lozano had a couple close long-distance shots. One couple went off the bar, and almost had a long-distance howler from him, too. So he was fun to watch. He was very electric to watch. And but unfortunately, couldn't crack the code tonight against the Yanks. And 0-3, they just earn a point at home. And I would say, as I said, it's well-deserved. Both teams favor each other. They favor this result. And both of them are just still in good standing, outstanding standing right now in terms of qualifying for the World Cup. So, but overall, this game, they showed no fear. They took it to Mexico in 0-3, and it was just made it really enjoyable to watch. And we'll see what they can do against Panama at home. And as I said, kudos to Mexico. So, pretty much that's all I can say about this one. I really can't say or critique anything else. Only thing that does suck is that Yedlin and the other player is out for yellow card accumulation, and I think Yedlin and Weah are out due to yellow card accumulation for the Panama match, which that's gonna hurt. But next man up mentality. Can the USA still qualify for the World Cup, book their spot, as well as even slow Panama's run. If Panama loses and Costa Rica wins, Panama's on the hot seat all of a sudden. As before Panama, which is the talk of Concacaf of how much they can pull the strings of other teams, and now all of a sudden we got Costa Rica fighting for a 4th place intercontinental playoff. So this is really shaping up to be an interesting run. And tonight, I'm just really, really happy to how they performed, and we'll see what they can do. But now that is it. Thank you very much for watching this. If you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe. Also, turn on bell notifications. That way you know when I upload. As you know, it's been a while since I posted between a couple videos and the previous video. So YouTube might try not recognize me until I keep posting consistently like I'm trying to do now. But hit the bell notification. That way you know when I upload. And tell all your friends the U.S. showed no fear down at the Estadio Azteca against L3.